Yeah, the reason why I originally bring up like the fault or the worry about being left out is because clearly the community is growing so quickly. And it is inherently competitive, and we've spoken about this. How I think it's a little bit of a problem actually, because you have values like sub counts and view counts and stuff like that. Those values are there. Even if you say to people, look, you shouldn't be comparing these, the fact that the numbers are there means that people will compare them, and that can raise
Yeah.
anxiety. And this is, I think, quite possibly a problem, considering that this is a very creative field, and creativity I don't think should be compared by values like that. So when new people come onto the scene, and sometimes when I get asked for advice, I remember speaking to Agnev about this as well, that you really should not pay attention to the numbers, because I mean, even if you tell yourself that you won't, it can really start to drill on your mind a bit, start affecting your decision making process. Oh, I want to get more views so I can get ahead of this person, so I'm going to do top 10 blah 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 blah, something that you might not be interested in, all that. um, as opposed to doing something that you're really interested in that might have more of a resonance with certain people in the community.
Yeah.
So I wondered if anyone else had like any experience with this, whether they had any anxieties. Maybe they're still struggling with it. Maybe they've got
I'll
over
take it
it.
a step further, Curtis. It's not just about looking at views. It's looking at comments. And I think I'm the only one who's radically on the other side. Reading comments
pretty
is the
much.
stupidest thing you can do. It is just dumb. There's only two outcomes. It's a positive comment, it's a negative comment. You don't want to read the negative ones. And the positive ones means you need this validation. And overall, in both scenarios, you're now doing stuff for other people. And it's going to make you change your idea for what to make next. Same thing with views. You make a video about, I don't know, pretty much anything that isn't procedural. It doesn't get a good amount of views. Like, okay, now I need to switch topics. Yes, the issue is people don't use YouTube as a portfolio. They use it as how well can I know my audience? And this is why, I've done this. This is why people are like, oh, 2.83 is out. Let's make a video. Even though, who cares? It's not something I'd want to talk about, really.
Are you saying that you don't create videos for other people then?
Dude, I'm saying I'm the issue. But I think ideally, you cut out as much feedback as possible because it should be an output, not an input. So for me, that's cutting off comments. I still look at views and subs. For other people, they don't look at views and subs, but they look at comments.
On the flip side of that,
though, you're missing. I mean, I'm not saying that you're not reading any comments at all, but if, like, I don't know, certainly on my videos, I get a lot of people saying things which are nice, which is obviously great. But then you also get a lot of people saying things which are like, how do I do this? Or I got to this point and then I got a bit confused, or I've done this. And then it's like you have that bit of rapport where you're bouncing off each other like ideas. And like sometimes people come in and say, oh, actually, I think this process is easier or faster or better optimized. And then you learn things that way.
That's fair enough. Although when people ask questions, I hate being tech support, so I avoid this. And with better techniques, I let that probably just get to the top of the comments. People are like, oh, yes, map range node can cut out 4 math nodes that you didn't need. But you're right. I think that's a good point.
Tom, I disagree with everything except
come at me. We'll debate.
Except for the part when you say if you don't, because when you don't notice your feedback or let it influence you, you stay true to yourself. So I agree with that part, because whether it's a positive or negative comment, you're staying true to your content. You're not changing it. You're doing what you enjoy. So I agree with that aspect. But me, it comes from more of a moral side. Just when you with comments, I think I'm morally obliged to respond to pretty much every comment, because they're giving me the time of day to watch my content and support me. And part of me thinks that, if they want to ask questions, just engage with even if it's just leaving a heart on their comment. I think engaging with your audience just shows an immense amount of respect and appreciation for them. Not that you don't appreciate them.
Dude, I criticize them all the time. I hate most of my audience. I'll be real.
But you see where I'm coming from, right?
I will. Here's what I'll say. The comments I read, if somebody emails me, I respond usually. If somebody comments on Patreon or somebody goes through a level of engagement beyond. Here's the thing with YouTube, I'm providing value. I make the video. The comment isn't value. I'm
Yes,
the
I
one
agree.
giving in this relationship. But if it's something like somebody's emailing me, somebody's clearly putting in, something beyond this, then I agree with you
Yes.
for what
Okay,
you're saying.
makes sense.
I
Makes
like
sense.
how everyone has different viewpoints here, rather. And, it's not even necessarily a case that one of these is particularly true. Because, as we say, it depends a lot on our personality factors and,
Subjective.
it's very subjective, our sense of morality and the value we give to the people that interact with the content. I feel like I'm somewhere in between. I've stopped caring so much about view counts and such. I know objectively that the content I like doing gets less views than the content that I find boring making. And I'm much more interested in making my YouTube channel a portfolio more, as CG was alluding to, than something that's just made to get people to click on it. And I think part of that desire actually comes from my ArtStation days before doing the YouTube channel. Because I did find that after building up a portfolio on there for a while, it started becoming an addiction. Not getting views or anything, but just like putting pretty things on there and just making more of it, and like my feeling of the sense of value of that portfolio increasing just like over time, more and more and more. And I feel like I'm getting that feeling with the channel, and that doesn't require anyone else to interact with it. That's just my personal sense of value with the channel. Is it going up over time? That's sort of how I'm approaching this. So I don't really interact with comments that much. I mean, I read all of them that pop up on the feed, even if they're negative and stuff. But even if they're asking questions, I find myself not even responding to a lot of them. Some of them I do, and it really depends on my mood. But I do figure, again, as CG said, that if it's like a general tech support thing, usually other people hop into the comments and help them out anyway over time. So yeah, I guess maybe I've still got some improvement to do there, because I feel like if I actually cared a bit more, I could probably give people a bit more value from this interaction.
I think it's a lot
Yeah,
you're smaller, isn't it, to respond to every comment. I mean, if you got up to Blender Guru, Andrew Price's level of, you no way you're going to have to employ 2 people full time to just respond. To
Yeah.
So there's that thing when you're young, you can just respond to things because you've only got 1 or 2 comments to respond to.
Yeah.
I think that makes a big difference.
That's absolutely true.
It does. Like I respond to most of them, and everyone that I see that I can respond to, because I started this thing. We've always we've been over this. Why did you start your channel? And everybody's chimed in. So you guys could even chime in on that question too in a bit. But it's the part of it I really like is when I was teaching and I taught at college level in the classroom for about 4 years. And it was awesome. Like I would go home and feel great about myself. And I mean, you could say that's a little selfish, but I was helping people. And when people came into the classroom and they wanted to learn something to better their life, and you're the person who can teach them that, and then you like watch them get a job after that, you're like, this has been awesome. Like this person's like feeding their family because by a small part because of something that I helped them with. And it's just a great feeling. So like I like that about YouTube, is that I can reach people and help, and it's a great feeling. The downside is wanting to do what CG does and ignore it all, because it's like I've gotten, and I've posted a few of them over time in the Discord, just the ones that really kind of just throw me for a loop. I always get over it, but I'm like, where did this, like, cursing me out. Like literally, it was just like unhinged, like dangerous. Like I should report this person to the FBI, kind of, put this guy on a watch list, future possible, mass casualty event walking around here. Like some of these really unhinged, and it's like, what, and then you're just like for a day, I'm just like, I don't even want to look at my comments. But then I'm like, whatever. I'm 99% of my audience is phenomenally awesome, and I've met some incredibly cool people, and I've networked with some of them and actually turned into actual freelance gigs. So I love it. I think it's great. But yeah, like mental health is better if you ignore the bad, but to ignore the bad, you have to, and get the good, you have to read that, and you're going to read the bad with it.